part 2 of this Play Now Online series. I'm in Tier 2 now, and I'm choosing the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the more fun teams to play with in NBA 2K18. Now let's see how they are in 2K19. And this guy really did choose home jerseys while he's playing on the road. I mean, that he's got to be trolling me. He's got to be trolling me because this was such a pain in the ass game to play. And as you'll see in this gameplay, I made some turnover just because I had no idea who I was passing it to, because the color schemes are like exactly the same for the Nuggets and the Bucks. So yeah, Giannis with the rebound, passing it to Tony Snell. Do we have numbers in transition? Yes, we do, but we turn it over. I'm going to just blame that on the uniforms, because that's screwing with my mind.
Mentally, he's not really where he needs to be. That sometimes teams examine that and think, might need to.
And he really just airballed a point-blank mid-range shot. That was pretty embarrassing.
Exactly.
But I played pretty decent defense on that possession. Giannis in transition, he gets fouled. Now, a lot of people say that Giannis is an MVP candidate. And while I do like Giannis a lot, I think he's a really fun player to watch, a really good player, can be a great player. I mean, there's a few things holding him back from actually being an MVP candidate, as Eric Bledsoe slams it inside. I think Giannis, there's a few things that work against him. Number one, is playing in the Eastern Conference, as Brook Lopez gets a steal. But playing in the East doesn't really do him any favors, because everyone sees the East as being the weaker conference. Although I personally don't think it's that much weaker than the East, than the West. But that's another topic for another day. So because he plays in the East, because it's supposed to be a weaker conference, he's seen as, not having to compete as hard as people in the West. And that's why a lot of people think LeBron will win MVP this season, is because he's finally playing in a tougher conference. And he's not playing with all-stars this year. So depending on how he plays, he's going to be maybe a front runner for MVP. So that's one reason. Number two, I think Giannis still has to develop an outside shot. When you look at the last, let's say, going to 2012, the last few MVP winners have all been players that can shoot from the outside. And yes, LeBron can shoot threes. He's a good three-point shooter. Imagine that. But I think Giannis has to develop that part of his game more. And we saw signs of it last season, but we need to see more of it. We need to see him shoot more consistently from three. And the third reason, and most important reason, is he needs to win more games. He needs to win at least 61, 62 games in the Eastern Conference, because otherwise, and he has to be number one seed in the East, because otherwise, you have the Celtics, who are, in my opinion, they're title contenders, especially with Kyrie and Gordon Hayward coming back. They could easily contend with the Golden State Warriors. I'm not saying they would beat them, but I think out of any team in the league, they could give them a run for their money. So they have to contend with the Celtics. They have to get a better regular season record than the Celtics and the Sixers, which I think are the two best teams in the league. Although, in the East. Although I do think the Raptors will be much better, with Kawhi Leonard, as I think he's a way better player than DeMar DeRozan. But I think we can't really count on the Raptors making any noise in the playoffs anytime soon. As Brook Lopez gets wide open, easy layup. But I think Giannis has to lead his team to the number one seed in the East, at least win 61 games. Because if you win 61 games, you're in an elite company as a team. Right, at least he should be. I mean, I think the only teams that will win 61 games or 60 games at least are the Celtics, the Warriors, the Rockets, and I think those are the only few teams that will manage to win 60 games. I think the Western Conference definitely got tougher this season, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But Giannis has to capitalize. Giannis has to capitalize and prove that since LeBron is out of the picture, he needs to prove that he's the best player in the Eastern Conference. And there's actually a lot of competition. You've got Joel Embiid, you've got Kyrie Irving, you've got, who else have you got? Kawhi Leonard now. And if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, then that's going to be a tough race for best player in the East.
They're completely in
But I think Giannis has to really prove himself, or assert himself. Again, he had a great season last season, but it has to last the entire season. A lot of people early on last season, they, maybe into November, they were like, "Oh, Giannis, easy MVP candidate." As here, I didn't want to pump fake, but it has to be consistent throughout the entire season. I remember back in 2014, everyone was like, Paul George, easy MVP candidate. He's #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then, in the second half of the season, he kind of flamed out. The Pacers kind of flamed out. Roy Hibbert had a meltdown. And then Kevin Durant went absolutely bonkers. Yes, I just used that word. He went absolutely nuts in the second half of the season, and he was the runaway MVP. So it has to be sustainable. I think he can do it. I think he's got, definitely the skill set. Connaughton for 3, misses. But I think he can do it. I think he's definitely a person that will take on that challenge, as you saw Kobe giving him that mama challenge to win MVP. He can do it, but he needs to progress a lot more in his shot making, in his offense. And he's already got the defense acumen. He's got a great vision as a point forward. So he's got a lot of talent, but he just needs to put it together some more. But he's very promising, and it's going to be very exciting to watch the Eastern Conference this year. Back to the game, DiVincenzo, first 3 of the game, and now I'm going to tell you guys right now, this guy went absolutely nuts this game, as you'll see pretty soon. It was like he was back in college. Now, I'm not even a big college college basketball fan, but as Isaiah Thomas hits a 3 off the screen, but this guy went absolutely nuts as shoots another 3, and he makes it 2 for 2 from 3. And let me tell you, it does not end there. And this guy, I don't know what happened here. Maybe he fell asleep, but he gets a 5-second violation. Speaking of college players, I'm really excited to see actually Zion Williamson and what's the other guy's name? RJ Barrett. I mean, watching those guys play, especially Zion, the athleticism. I know it's already been said before, as DiVincenzo hits another 3 for 3 from downtown, as Isaiah Thomas rushes that 3. Good rebound by Bledsoe. DiVincenzo from the 3-point line, splash, 4 for 4 from downtown. And I didn't expect this to happen, but I mean, it looks like I wonder what his 3-point rating is, but he went absolutely nuts here as he hits me with a pretty good move with Isaiah Thomas there. Now let's see if we can keep the monster going. He's really on fire. For some reason, he is open once again, and he doesn't make it, but he's still only 4 for 5. And that's really good. So to swing it around, get a good shot. I don't like to rush my offense that well, but come on, man. 5 for 6. You got to pay attention to him. And I think this guy was starting to give up, honestly, at this point. I don't think he was really taking it seriously. Tries to get open, Isaiah Thomas jacks up a 3, and I'm trying to get DiVincenzo open again, and I turn it over.
And now the fast break. Thomas with the ball. And a wide open look for Porter.
And it's back under double digits as Michael Porter Jr., the guy with the screwed up back.
Got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the
Drains
game.
the 3. Now DiVincenzo, nice pump fake. Connaughton in the corner, green release, splash, up by 12 once again. So that didn't last very long. And my man DiVincenzo, the red-headed monster, as Bledsoe pokes away the ball, and he will get fouled and shoot 2 free throws. Oh, wait a minute. He is out of here.